See, guys, let me tell you guys something. Barca fans, we are very divided, right? One thing we all agree on is that we want the club to improve. Now, even though we all want the club to improve, we all have different ways that we think that the club should improve. Some fans believe that the club should go on a certain direction, and some fans think that the club should go on another direction. But apart from seeing the club improve, there is one other thing that Barcelona fans can all agree on. We all hate Bartomeu. Fuck Bartomeu. And let me tell you guys something. When it comes to this situation with Bartomeu, guys, right? And seeing what's happening at my club, guys, as a Barca fan, watching the club that I love, the institute that defined a huge part of my life as a football fan, right? My whole footballing identity, be dragged into the mud to become a laughing stock. It's not just painful, no, guys. It's gut-wrenching. It's like watching a family member who you adore so much make so many terrible choices. But when the man who's allegedly responsible for so much of that turmoil in Jose Maria Bartomeu is finally caught, guys, it doesn't numb the pain. No, guys. It elevates the pain to a whole new level. This is not about the club anymore, guys. This is not about the club. This is not about the club, right? This is deeply personal. And honestly, I can't stay silent about this, guys. We're gonna dive deep into this whole situation, guys, because this whole court hearing, guys, I've spent this whole week, guys, reading the court hearing, guys, reading the alleged stuff that this man is accused of, guys. And honestly, I knew this brother was a criminal, but reading some of the stuff I read, guys, it genuinely had my blood boiling, guys, right? So we're gonna get into all of this, guys. Not the gossip, not the speculations. No, guys. We're gonna get straight into the actual court documents, guys, for you to grasp the alleged betrayal, guys. And I'm gonna use alleged very loosely in this, right? But the alleged betrayal, and to basically understand, guys, why the club that I love is in the state that it's in. For some of you guys who are rivals, and for some of you guys who don't understand why we all hate Bartomeu the way we do, guys, watch this video, guys, because I'm gonna give you guys all of the crimes that this absolute fraud put on my club. Now, I'm not even gonna waste any time. Let's get straight into it. Summer of 2021, Jose Maria Bartomeu fucked off in October of 2020, right? And then guess what? We did a presidential election. Joan Laporta, the former president from 2003 all the way to 2010. The man who was responsible for the arrivals of Ronaldinho. The man who gave me my first Champions League. The man who spearheaded the era that we ended up seeing in the early 2010s. The man who brought in Pep. That man, ladies and gentlemen, was back in the seat in 2021, and he was a beacon of hope for us Barca fans, guys. In a time of chaos, he came in on the right time, right? And the first thing he does when he arrives, he opens the financial books. And what does he find? Not just a mess. No, guys. He finds a financial catastrophe. A staggering 1.3 billion, not million, guys. No. Billion euros in debt. That's what he finds, guys. Right? Let that sink in for a second, guys. And this is not just operational figures. No. This is not just operational figures. The salaries alone, guys, gobbled up over 103% of the club's revenue. Just the wages alone. Just the wages, guys. Every single euro that was coming into the club, guys, right? Over €1.50, guys, was going on player wages alone. Which basically meant that we could not keep any money. We had no financial wiggle room. We couldn't register players. We couldn't have a budget space, basically, right? And because of all of that, Lionel Messi, our greatest player of all time, a guy who wanted to stay at the club, had to leave because we couldn't offer him a new contract. And really, guys, when you think about that, that is not just bad luck. No, that's not bad luck. No, that, guys, is an unforeseen pandemic or an unforeseen effect. A poison chalice. The financial wasteland the handoff that Bartomeu allegedly left behind, we are still dealing with to this day. And when you listen to what the prosecutors have been saying, guys, they basically are saying, they were very, very clear with the forensic audits, right? They allegedly said that from 2015 to 2019, guys, Bartomeu's board was systematically, their words, systematically violated duties of diligence and loyalty. Basically, guys, in plain English, the best way I can put it is they were using our club as a credit card, an unlimited credit card, guys, right? Basically, the way they looked at it was, we're the socios, we're the true owners of the club. They didn't care about looking at the financial audits, right? They didn't care about reading the fine prints. They didn't connect the dots. They didn't do any of that. They were just spending, and agonizing financial bleed, guys. And they gambled on our future, and to this day, guys, we're still paying the price. And now, guys, I don't want to waste any time, guys. The charges, basically, they don't read like a charge, guys. They don't even read like a legal document. They basically read more like a gripping, frankly infuriating crime novel. That's how it sounded when I was reading this, guys, right? We're talking about some serious allegations here. We're talking about some serious allegation, guys. Disloyal administrations, false accounting, and misappropriation of funds, guys. The cornerstone of these charges, guys, right? And basically the Spanish phrase, guys, that they used was administración del cielo. That's basically the Spanish word that they use, which basically translates to mismanagement, so utterly reckless, so profoundly negligent that it can only be interpreted as intentional. Basically, they're saying that basically they think that this financial, the way they were using the finance was so bad, they don't think this was a mistake. This was a completely intentional by the club to basically ruin it for whoever comes in and takes over after them to deal with, right? And this, they were not just making bad business decisions. No, guys. It was about the pattern of alleged behaviors that I was hearing, guys, right? That demonstrates to you guys the state that this brother put us in, the harm that he put the club. And basically, they're saying that if he's found guilty, he could be spending almost 6 years in prison. 6 years, guys. And honestly, guys, for me, he should be in prison for life, guys, for what the things I had to hear, guys. So let's get straight into it, guys, because I've been spending so much time doing the introduction. I want to go straight into the exhibits, guys. Let's get to the first one. Let's talk about Exhibit A, Malcom. You all remember Malcom, right? Malcom, we signed him in 2018 from Bordeaux, guys, right? The official fee was apparently 41 million. That's how much we spent, right? Sounded easy, right? And then it turns out that from what the indictment basically says is that basically after the medical examination was completed, after basically he had signed the contract, guys, the club wired another 10 million in commission fees, guys, to Bordeaux. Or to whoever, right? Basically, they basically spent more money in the deal. That compensation fee was more than what we spent on a player like Pedri, who's basically one of, if not the best midfielder in the world. And basically, the indictment basically claims that these hefty fees were approved post-signature, meaning they were not a part of the deal. And even more concerning, these alleged commissions were supposedly split into smaller invoices, which is basically a classical tactics to dodge board oversight and internal controls. They basically put it into smaller invoices so that the people who were looking at the numbers wouldn't have noticed it earlier. That's the best way I can put it, right? And basically, these late payments is like, the best way I can put it, and this is the best example I want to use, guys, for those of you guys who are listening to these words, the big words I'm using, it's like a teenager, guys, spending $500. It's like me giving my son my credit card and he spends $500 on the newest PlayStation, right? Now, I already knew that the PlayStation was $500. I already knew that, right? Now, what I didn't know was that my son was actually sneaking an extra $50 into that to the person who he bought the PlayStation to, basically to make sure that he got the better deal because other people also wanted that same PlayStation. And that PlayStation was the last one. And he got it because he put an extra fee and he didn't tell me about it. Now, maybe for me, I might not be happy about it, but compare that to Barcelona, guys, a multi-million euro institute, right? This wasn't just poor accounting, guys. This was deliberately designed to hide questionable financial deals. And that was just the Malcom one. We can go straight to the Neymar one. The Neymar one is even better, guys. The Neymar one is better because you guys remember when we signed Neymar, guys. That whole Neymar thing, it was way ridiculous, guys. Because for some people know what happened, right? A lot of people know that we signed Neymar from Santos, and there was a lot of like alleged deals that was made behind the scenes, guys. But there are apparently some that the people don't know about. Apparently, guys, we ended up, guys, authorizing, and Bartomeu's board, right, ended up authorizing another 1.7 million to the 35 million that we had already paid a few years later in court settlements, right? We basically authorized a 1.7 million legal fee to a private law firm, which, funnily enough, guys, never appeared in the club's transfer budget. Just think about that. Just think about that, guys, right? And considering a few years later, we had to pay 35 million in court settlements for undisclosed payment, guys, related to the move, you start to realize this deal was murky all the way from the start, guys. And honestly, this really shocked me because I already knew this deal was fraudulent before, right? Because of the way Rosell and Bartomeu dealt with it, but really having to read about the fact that there was we ended up giving more money than we supposed to a private law firm that was never actually put in the financial book shows you guys this wasn't just about, oh, the club was doing that. Bro, these guys were deliberately risking the club's future making these deals. That's how big it is. And speaking of other deals, let's talk about the Griezmann one. Because the Griezmann one, that was another one. I remember when we signed Antoine Griezmann in 2019, right? We thought we triggered the buyout clause. It sounded straightforward, right? But now, the indictment now paints a completely different story. It's alleged that after we paid the 120 million buyout clause, when we triggered the buyout clause in July of 2019, guys, we allegedly paid an additional 15 million basically to avoid litigation risk. Now, in case you guys don't know why there was a litigation risk, let me tell you why. When Antoine Griezmann in 2018 rejected the move to Barça, he signed a new deal with Atletico Madrid. In that new deal, he had a 120 million buyout clause, which would go down. He had a 200 million buyout clause in his new deal that he signed in 2018. That 200 million, guys, the buyout clause would go down every year. And in 2019, it was going to go from 200 million all the way down to 120, right? And in 2019, and that deal in 2019 started in July 1st. So July 1st, his buyout clause will go from 200 million to 120. And in July 1st, ladies and gentlemen, we triggered the buyout clause to bring Antoine Griezmann to Barcelona. Now, after that whole thing happened, and I remember this since back then, Atletico Madrid apparently accused Barcelona of basically tapping up the player, basically agreeing this deal way before they even triggered the buyout clause. So basically, they alleged that Barcelona and Antoine Griezmann had already agreed on personal terms way before the deal was triggered, which basically could take Atletico could have taken Barcelona to court. Now, we're hearing now from this indictment that Barcelona apparently paid an additional 15 million to avoid litigation risk, guys, right? A payment that basically the club stuffed under marketing expense. They didn't even tell us. They didn't even tell anyone, right? They didn't even tell anyone that this was basically a payment that was given to Atletico to basically shut them up. No. They put it as a marketing expense. Marketing expense, guys. That's how they did it, guys. To avoid a lawsuit. They ended up doing that, guys, and they put it as marketing expense. This is not creative accounting, guys. No. It's alleged. This is basically a deliberate miscommunication designed to basically conceal the true nature of this payment, guys. And it gets worse. Another 3 million was allegedly landed into the pockets of intermediaries who, according to these charges, guys, never had license. Who were these intermediaries? Nobody knows. I hope you guys are still with me, because I know guys, I'm really, because I literally read this thing like a few hours ago, so I'm literally coming and telling you guys what I read, guys. But this continues to get worse, right? Because I just talked about Malcom, I've talked about Griezmann, and I've talked about Neymar. Now let's go to something that wasn't a transfer, guys, because there's another one, guys. I don't know if any of you guys remember. Do you guys remember the Espai Barca project? I know you guys, some of you guys don't remember that. I remember that. So basically, what that was, the Espai Barca project, it was basically a stadium renovation. Basically what we're doing right now, right? During the Bartomeu era, they tried to do the same, right? To basically revamp the stadium, increase the seats to a 105,000 seater stadium, guys, right? Basically a symbol of progression and ambition. Instead, according to now the allegations that the prosecutors have put in, this project was yet another vehicle, guys, for questionable payments. Basically, the charges now claim that 1.5 million euro chunk of change was wired into a local sports group that had absolutely no connections, absolutely none, with the construction and the urban planning. And the invoice for these payments, they allegedly listed it as scouting service. Scouting service. Why is there a scouting service for the construction of a new stadium? Why? Scouting service to renovate a new stadium. Guys, when I was reading this, I just left this thing, right? And I was like, bro, this man is not only a criminal, not only is he a terrible president, but this brother is an absolute dumbass. Does he think that football fans are stupid? Or does he think that football fans, some of them haven't actually gone to school, they don't know how math works, they don't know how these deals work. They just think that they can just put any words like marketing expense, scouting payments, in small invoices, they can just use these big words on us, and as Barca fans, we won't put the 2 and 2 together. This whole scouting service, the way I looked at it when I first read it in my mind was, these scouting reports must have been really well hidden, because think about this, guys. There was no player, no architect, no construction worker who ever arrived from this local sporting group, which, by the way, guys, remember, the 1.5 million that I just talked about went to a local sports club, right? For scouting service. That's what they told us, right? But yet no player, no architect, no construction worker ever arrived from this sporting club or mysterious sports club. Put 2 and 2 together, guys. These guys, right, they are insulting our intelligence as Barca fans. And look, I know I've been waffling for a while, but if any of you understood anything I said, guys, you start to realize why Barcelona are 1 billion euros in debt. In the Bartomeu era, specifically around the tail end of it, you can look at the deals for Dembele, you can the deal of Coutinho, you can look at the deal of Griezmann, the deal of Neymar, Malcom, every single player, guys. There wasn't one player we signed during that time, guys, who we just signed. No, guys. We always put more millions under the carpet. And now as a result, here we are. We are now here. We are in a financial crisis. In a financial crisis that God knows when we're ever going to get out of this. This is truly, truly disgusting. And like I mentioned, the court hearing is on October 24th of this month. I need a guilty verdict, because this man cannot get away with his crimes, guys. This man cannot get away with his crimes. This is truly disgusting, right? It's truly a disgrace how this man for so long got away with this. Because as Barca fans today, we're having to suffer for the financial mismanagement that this guy put. I need a guilty verdict. There needs to be justice, because he cannot get away with this. But it's truly disgraceful. But there you go, guys. I've truly waffled. I hope you guys understood all of the deals I've just mentioned, guys. If you guys don't, do your own research, guys. But yeah, it is what it is. Barcelona, we are in a financial mess, and now you all know why. And honestly, to tell you the truth, guys, this basically puts a lot of the pressure of Bartomeu for me, Laporta for me, because when you really start to listen to those numbers and you start to realize what he has to deal with, it's a miracle that we're still challenging in the top dogs in Europe with all of the problems that we have. It's truly embarrassing, guys. But let me know what you guys are saying about this in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and peace, you guys. Take care.